Hello,
Hey, hello there.
welcome to the stream.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, it seems good. Do you prefer to go by WittyAdrian or do you have another name?
Well, you can call me Adrian or Witty or any combination of the two. I don't really mind.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I will go ahead and get started with the game here while I send you the first question, which is, how did you decide on what you're going to make for the jam?
So actually, it's a funny story because I wasn't planning on joining the jam because the weekend of the jam was actually super busy for me IRL
Mhm.
because my girlfriend's birthday was this weekend and her sister's birthday was also this weekend. So we had two birthdays in the same weekend and a barbecue, and it was a busy weekend. But when I came home and I looked at the theme, I started to sketch out some ideas and just doing some word what's the word, synonyms, and just like getting some ideas flowing. And after a few sketches, I got this idea in my head. And I've always loved the idea of doing a puzzler that's very minimalistic and very simple rules with like complex end states. And I just couldn't resist building this. So yeah, I basically did it, and here we are.
Nice. So, what would you say is like the actual count of hours for how long you spent on this game?
The first prototype I made in like 3 hours. So I had like the first level without any validation or any like menus or anything in there. Then I spent almost the same time for the first prototype on the algorithm behind it, which checks if one board actually is valid, this can be completed. So it's 6 total, and then I think I spent another 6, I don't know, maybe finishing it, polishing it, adding music, sound effects, little UI touches. So maybe like 12 in total or something, give or take.
Yeah, just 12 hours. That's not a whole lot. I spent about 24 hours on my project, almost exactly.
Yeah, the nice thing about my concept is it's very rule heavy. So once I got the algorithm behind it, which could check for a level being valid, I could just pop out new levels with just programming and not actually making them myself. So each of the 40 levels is just made by the algorithm, by the thing behind it. And so when you hear 40 levels, oh, that's a lot of levels. But actually, it's just like I'm just doing 4 in 3 to 7, bam, more levels.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I figured they would be just generated. So MayFK comments, I played this on stream, was going through the easy levels, like, okay, I think I got this, clicked on expert level, and immediately went back to easy.
Yeah, actually it was really fun to see him play it. Last year, he didn't play mine on stream, which is totally fine, and this I was like hoping he would do it, and well, he did. And he made a fair comment of like, hey, this game seems fun, but it takes more mental focus than I can have right now, so, I'm going to quit it, and that's totally fair. I can totally get his response. And some of the people who played it as well said like the early levels, the smaller levels, are actually more fun because if you look at the later levels, like in a second, they're gigantic and they have very high numbers. So it's just a lot about adding together and less about the puzzle element of it. So I might do some refining there down the line.
Yeah, I did just click on it, and that is okay. But the okay, if I go, it's random every time.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So each level follows a certain difficulty modifier, I guess is the right word for it. So you can see easy, medium, and hard are like the vague categories for the levels. And so what it does is the goal is increasing each level. That's 1. And then 2 is the minimum tile number is also increasing. So level 1, the lowest tile number is 1. Level 2, it's 2, and then etc. So the further you go into levels, the less low numbers you have, and the more you have to puzzle around with higher numbers.
Yeah. I wasn't kidding when I said I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat a single level on stream unless I just take time to focus, and that would mean either ignoring you and chat or just, I don't know, taking some time.
No, I totally get that. That's very fair.
Well, just the to do any amount of mental arithmetic, like, I kid you not, if these were reduced down in complexity to like 0, 1, 2, maybe like somewhere in the range of like -2 to +2, then I could
Right.
probably play it on stream. But anything larger than that, you can start to see me counting on my fingers and stuff. And
Yeah, so like
I don't know.
as you can imagine, I play quite a bit of these levels, so I have the strategy down decently well.
Yeah.
And so one of the comments, or most comments I got on the Game Jam page were like, "Hey, it's a good game, but just easing the player into it would have been great instead of just dumping them into the first level." And I totally agree with that, but just didn't have any time to make proper intro levels. So like just to guide you along a little bit. So the way usually these are played is step 1 is just counting together to 12. So which numbers make 12. And then once you have a combination, try and fix the colors.
Yeah.
So in this case, you have like top left, top middle, and middle being 12 together. And then you have all 3 colors. And then you can just, it's a question of combining those colors to form red. So in this case, green and red make red. So green is like an ally color, so to speak. Blue is the dangerous one here. So you have to neutralize blue first by doing it with green, and then green with red, and then you solve. And that's basically how you do it. And once you have that kind of tactic down, it's pretty fun, in my opinion at least. But I found a lot of players don't see that right away, which is very fair. So that's like one big takeaway I got from it, is like showing the players what I know and how I do these things, instead of expecting them to just figure it out by themselves and dumping them into the first level.
Yeah. Because I did figure out as far as like, okay, the number is 12, I should see what numbers on this board will add up to 12. And I did, like, it took me until now to realize, like, okay, 2 plus 5, 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 2 is 12. Okay, so that's going to be what I need to, like, find some way to combine this L shape of numbers here. Vortex of purple, yeah, I think, a level that has just 3 tiles in it, I mean...
Even 2 tiles would be a good start. Yeah, totally.
Just the like start with the absolute basics to make sure you understand the mechanics. Like, because I know that you've got the how to play graphic here. Just so you understand the mechanics of like combining tiles. So like starting with the idea of like combining tiles to eliminate colors, then moving on to introduce the idea of like swiping to fill across gaps, then introducing the idea of adding numbers together and starting with just very, very low numbers and then working your way up and up and up from there.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think someone also suggested me like just start with like 2 red tiles, 5 and 5. You might make 10. Super easy.
Yep,
then make them 1 gap apart. Then add 1 green tile. Then just slowly build up and build up. I think that's the perfect way to do it.
I think you could get away with
no time.
Yeah. No, I think you could actually get away with the entirety of your easy levels consisting of ones that involve no arithmetic whatsoever, just being like tile positioning and cancellation challenges.
Oh, true. Yeah, very fair.
So anyway, let's get into the second question here, which is, what was your development process like for the game?
Yeah, so I didn't have a lot of time. So I'm a professional software engineer for a few years now, and I've been making games for a bit longer than that. So I have decent bit of experience with like algorithms and just software logic. So I had a decent time. Usually I have a decent time making like these very code-heavy games, because like art is basically none. It's just default Text Mesh Pro buttons with a color. That's literally the interface. And so like I could devote all my time to spending it on coding, on logic, on the backhand, so to speak. And that basically has been my process. Just get a good font, get like some basic shapes down, and just like focus on the rules, focus on the algorithm behind it, focus on like validation, and just push as much time as I can into getting these generation algorithms done. Because I knew like as soon as I can make levels by code, I can just like scale it up and make like, as I did, 40 levels and be done. And so it's basically my process been just focusing on algorithms mostly and code.
Oh, yeah, I think this is going to be the very first game that I play on stream that I don't clear a single level of it.
It's like most people that I see, they fail a bunch, and then once it clicks, once they get it, they are, oh, now I see it. Now then I can like they're starting. But yeah, having an intro section would help a lot with this. But yeah, here we are.
Oh, I was supposed to make green. I was. It's not like I'm colorblind. I was like, I can make 12. It's gonna be really easy, and I got so excited that I just made it in the wrong color. Okay. Oh, jeez.
You can still solve it from there. Never mind.
I know that it would have been still possible. Like, it would have given me an actual game over if it wasn't possible to solve. Can you recommend a useful shortcut or a clever hack in Unity that you think would be helpful to others?
Oh, that's a good one. I think not being afraid to use these like standard packs. I think one of the previous devs also mentioned about like 2D sprites. While this isn't one where I used one of those, in most programs I made, most games I make, I lean heavily on like the default character controllers for like FPS games and stuff like that. Usually, especially for GAN games, they're totally fine. If you spend a ton of time making your own controllers for your characters and basic stuff like that, you often, at least I often see myself losing time with that stuff where I'm not actually spending it on the game itself. So that's one thing I've learned to improve on myself.
Yeah, okay. Vortex of Purple is commenting, first few levels had no maths, they could be rock, paper, scissors instead to drill in the... Yeah, that's basically what I suggested as well, is like just using the color elimination mechanic, and like you still treat every tile as one. Like, you do need to have them adding up to something at the end, but yeah, basically like maybe a combination of simple addition, like anything. The first few levels are just like +1, -1, 0 to get you used to the idea of the color elimination. And yeah, I think that maybe including a symbol on each of the tiles to, help for anyone who's colorblind would also be a good help.
True. Actually, funny enough, Vortex comments about fire beating leaf beating water.
Yeah,
is actually what I went for. As you can see, red, i.e. fire, beats green, i.e. leaf. So there is actually some of that in there, if you look close enough. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I just didn't have any time to focus on more than just the colors. But yeah, very fair comment for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you were just talking about how you had less than like around 12 hours to complete the game. So
yeah,
I think that's totally fair. And I think that if I could imagine a image of a tile here. So something with a tile like this, and then like you could get something that is basically adjacent to the color here, and then just do something like slightly darker, and then in the background have like... I'm not doing a particularly good job of drawing, but I think you get the idea. Some sort of sort of like graphic that looks like fire in the background of the tile, or nice. Something a little more subtle, like just a little in the corner. This is looking terrible, but I think you get the idea.
No, I like it. It's a good example.
I think that you could still keep with a very simplified aesthetic of the game, but. Oh my goodness, I really would love to be able to complete at least one level in this, but
So this one is actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
You just have to see it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so red beats green, and
it's much easier than that.
Green beats blue. I don't
I believe
know.
in you. One move. It's literally one move. You can do it.
Oh, okay. We did it. We beat one level, chat.
There you go. Nice.
Okay, once you have the types linked to the colors, it may be possible to add additional colors without too much confusion. I don't know about that. I think, I don't know. I think that the difficulty on that could spiral really quickly.
Yeah, I thought about doing 4 colors as well, or like higher levels, but I like the kind of trifecta of 3 colors. So like each color has both a beaten color and a weak color, right? Like a strong and weak side. So yeah, that's why I stuck with 3.
Yeah, like other people have pointed out that if you don't like rock paper scissors, then adding more elements to it just makes the game worse. Like I know there's I think it was the Big Bang Theory popularized the rock paper scissors Spock game, as if that wasn't already played around on like schoolyards and whatever before the show made it popular. Anyway, I've heard people talking about how that addition of like a full 5 symbols is objectively worse than the traditional rock paper scissors, because the whole point of rock paper scissors is the simplicity of it, and you don't have to keep track of what ties to what and what beats what. So
yeah, I think that's a good point for sure.
Yeah, I think sometimes the simplicity, adding any more, like you do get into a problem of subtraction by addition. Like adding more elements to the game just makes it more complicated and less fun to play.
Yeah.
All right. Well, any questions from chat, please feel free to post them now. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead with our next questions here, which are, do you have any plans for the game going forward?
Yeah, I definitely think I'm going to keep working on this. The response I got from people was very positive and very inspiring. So definitely, I think I want to, first of all, think of some more mechanics, interesting things. Things like having levels of empty tiles, just for nothing in there, or with like a blocking tile where you can't move across, or maybe a minus instead of always plus. Like all these kind of interesting maybe additions could help to spruce up the gameplay a bit more. And yeah, just like add more polish. Obviously, an intro level or intro levels would be great. And yeah, I really enjoy this concept, and I'm happy working on it. So I do want to push it a bit further and see where I can go.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And yeah, King Galactus, I appreciate you saying, yeah, I also really like the concept of this game. I think that it's definitely the sort of thing I would like if I just understood it a little bit better.
That's fair. Yeah.
There we go. At least I beat my prediction. And I didn't even need your help with this one. I just it did kind of. I sold this one by accident because once again I thought my goal was to make red, and I made a green 12. I'm like, oh wait, that was the right answer.
It counts.
All right. Well, do you have any shoutouts to any people or projects that you'd like to promote?
Well, I have a bunch more games on itch. I always like people trying out my games, so if anyone feels inspired to try out some different games, then feel free to look up my itch. Other than that, no, I really like your show, what you're doing. And the interviews you're doing with devs, so yeah, I mean, just keep doing the good work.
Thank you very much. Well, here we go. We'll go ahead and grab the link to your itch.io and drop that in chat for everyone. And yeah, all right. So thank you so much for joining me on the call today. And maybe if you do end up creating a post-gen version of the game, if you want to get me additional feedback to it, I'd be happy to try it out on the stream once again.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Talk to you later then.
All right. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.